since all of this has been going on, there's been a really sort of rallying cry from the arts community in Albuquerque. And the arts community in Albuquerque, I'm sure it's like this many places, a lot of places that I've visited and seen too, it's a really strong community, and there's a lot of talent and, just general good-heartedness, I think, in that community. And so when that call kind of came out that there was a shortage of PPE going around, a lot of craft makers and artists just kind of jumped in and said, how can I help? So New Mexico Craft Responders was really great in that sense. And what we're doing there is we're getting a lot of people to help sew masks. And so there's all different types of masks. There's like the very sort of simple mask that, anybody at home can do, that they don't need a sewing machine for, they don't really need any sort of background in craft making or anything like that, to the sort of more, advanced. So a lot of those masks that have some more intricate sewing involved are going out to some of the frontline workers in healthcare, those who are working at grocery stores, things like that. So there's a lot of, cross collaboration, I think, in the community happening right now, especially the arts community, which is really good. And another thing that I've been helping with too is building intubation boxes. So there's a great gallery here called Sanitary Tortilla Factory, and we've been going in there and just building and cutting, laser cutting the plastic that's actually going into the building of the materials and all the things like that. So we constructed, I think, I forget the number that we're at now, but a lot of the intubation boxes that we built are going to local hospitals around New Mexico. So that's kind of been like another, way that I've been helping out. And like I said earlier, I do feel very grateful to be in the position to work from home right now. So I think my thought process was, what's the best way that I can get involved that makes sure, those who aren't as protected, under things like healthcare and employment right now, what's the best way to kind of serve that population right now?
So what are you particularly worried about? Obviously, there's a lot of things to be worried about as this continues on, but is there anything that immediately comes to mind as a worry for you?
Yeah, I think, just personally, in my case, having a lot of, thoughts about what this is going to impact, or rather how this is going to impact, mental health, I think, for a lot of people going forward. And also, just currently, it's hard. I know a lot of people who are, social distancing and isolating by themselves. And even those who are isolating with family and partners and things like that, there's a certain level to it that I think can be really difficult. And kind of in conjunction with, the idea about mental health is that there's a sort of negative, I think, idea going around that has a lot to do with productivity. And I think that a lot of people are worried about, being productive in the midst of everything that's happening right now. And I think that it's just really important to, make sure people are mindful of the fact that, it's really hard. Like what we're going through right now is sort of, it's really unprecedented and, unlike I think what a lot of people have ever experienced. So for me personally, I've been sort of, afraid of that creeping feeling of like, I'm not doing enough, I'm not outputting enough, whether that's creatively, artistically, communicatively, there's a lot of things that go into it. But I think that worry for me is just sort of how, this going forward is really going to impact a lot of people. One thing that I've seen, even just with the work that I've been doing and really just sort of, this being emphasized really heavily in the last couple of weeks is you got to rely on your community. You know what I mean? There's a lot of structural damage, I think, that's happening as a country, and you see it happening across the world right now. And it's caused a lot of us to think, look a little more inward towards our, local government, towards our friends, towards our community, the people that we know that are organizing and doing positive things that are, making a positive impact. So I think in the midst of all of this, one thing that we'll learn, and I hope that people will learn, is that sort of find your community and find the people who are doing good things and who are making positive changes, because it makes it feel a little less, helpless and hopeless.